Oh, it's my reflection in the screen. Okay. Hello, I'm back. If you're new here, my name is Christina, aka Northwest Reader, and this is going to be my July wrap-up slash kind of like a little bit more in-depth wrap-up of the last 2 weeks of books I've read. I went MIA for, of course, for the second half of the month. The usual for me, it seems. Yeah, I had to take some time off to mainly focus, take time off of some of the commission work I've been working on and reading, reviews, social media even, and just focus on my family and my kid. Everyone's fine. Nothing's wrong with them or anything like that. It's just I've been a little stressed about certain things, and I just mostly wanted to focus on that stuff. But everything's fine. I promise. Anyways, for this past month, I read and completed about 13 book stories, short stories, manga, all of it. So I figured I would start off with the books I finished within the last couple weeks, which I don't think there were that many. Yeah, I didn't finish too many. So within the last 2 weeks, I finished 3 different books and stories. They were all short, so I was able to read them pretty quickly. But when I took my break, and just binged watch a bunch of stuff. So that's how I knew I was kind of going through it. And since Halloween is getting closer, I am wearing my glow-in-the-dark skeleton shirt, which is my favorite, most comfortable shirt ever. So, and you may have noticed background is a little different because we moved my bookshelf, and I was going to film in front of my bookshelf, but my light, yeah, I need to figure out how to do my lighting. In the last couple weeks, one of the books I finished, I was actually lucky to get an arc of it, an e-arc, and it took me a while to get to it, but I finally did. It's out now, but it's after me. I feel like I did talk about this, but it's After Me, The Great Flood, a haunted house novella by Jayson Ducharme. I always mess up his name. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really good. It's about this young mother who moves into this duplex, and on the other side of the duplex is the owner, who is an older gentleman, and he rents out the other side of his house, the duplex, to this young woman with she has a baby with her. So just creepy things happen in the house and on the land, and it was pretty spooky. It was an easy read. I breezed through it pretty quickly. The first half, I will say though, is a lot of build up and getting to the spookiness, but stick with it. And then the second half, it's just a bunch of ghosty things happen. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy Jayson's writing style and the stories he tells. He's really he's top notch with that type of stuff. And I notice a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of haunted houses and haunted stories and stuff like that, but this, I'm the same way, but it was pretty decent. I think this would be a great, I don't want to say starter, because at one point it gets super, almost cosmic-y for me. It was almost too cosmic-y, but not too much. But there's elements of it remind me of some other books that were super cosmic-y horror. So I almost was like, oh no, this is getting into the place where I'm just like, what's happening? And it goes over my head. But it's not too far-fetched, or it's not too out there. So if you want to dabble in a little bit of haunted house, well, it's mostly haunted house stuff or land. But if you want a little cosmic-y stuff, it's sprinkled in here in my opinion. But yes, 4 stars. And the next story I finished, it's a short story. It's My Sister April by Kira R. Torres. I gave it 4 stars. I follow Kira online on social media and stuff. She does her own reviews and stuff, so I will link her stuff down below. And I love her reviews. I love her channel. Well, her channel. I love her Instagram, and I follow her on Twitter. I follow her everywhere. But I enjoyed her so much. So whenever I saw she wrote something and she was putting something out, I had to stop everything I was doing, even though I was like in such a lull and such a blah headspace. I had to read it. And with it being a short story, definitely have to read it. Especially, it's such an easy read, like one sitting you can knock it out. It's about two sisters who are left at home when their parents go out, I think go out to a party or something, and they're told like not to go near the pig pen or pig area because they live on a farm, and things happen. It was fun to see her writing style in that type of sense instead of like reviews and stuff like that, writing about other people's works. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I noticed a lot of people felt this way too. They just wanted it to be longer, but I mean, it is a short story, and it is a compliment when people are saying it ended too soon. Like, they want it more. Like, that, I feel, is one of the best compliments you can get with a short story. Because I've read a few short stories where you're like, oh my gosh, this is the longest short story of my life. I want it to end. But this, you want it more. And I liked where it was going and stuff like that. I don't know, I think I heard she was going to expand on it a little bit more or do something. But I look forward to future works by Kira because it's exciting to see women horror writers out there, especially POCs, and it's exciting. It makes me happy, and I want to support her more. So go check out her short story. It's really good. My Sister April. And then the book that I ended the month in is Only the Stains Remain by Ross Jeffrey. Gave it 5 stars. I believe it's considered a novella. It's a short story, or it's a shorter book. Oh my goodness. It's definitely a hard read. Okay, I've been following Ross for a while now, but I haven't read any of his books. So he's always been on my TBR, but just like not towards the top, I guess. And like after reading this, he's moved up quite a bit because I just wanted to try and see what his writing style is, because I just wanted to check it out. Or I saw that this came out and I was really excited to get to it because I like hard-hitting stories and stuff like that. I like to feel my feels. But on Goodreads, I saw Mother Horror, Sadie, say she put that she DNF'd it, like, towards the beginning, and it terrified me. This is the woman who read Dead Inside all the way through, and I couldn't get past even the first section. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I messaged Nikki, and I asked her opinion, and she said, like, it's a hard read, but you should be able to get through it, and the ending is it's satisfying and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it is hard to read. It has a lot of abuse in every type of way towards children. So if you're sensitive to that, please be cautious if you're still going to try to read it. It's really hard. And there's like death and suicide and just a bunch of stuff in it. If you want more details, just message me. I will give you all the content warnings there are, but there's a ton. But the story itself and I would say like the symbolism with a lot of the things in it, it was just perfect. Ross did such a good job with not putting, like, there is abuse and stuff on the page, but the really, really traumatic, hard stuff, in my opinion, I think is like, I don't know if I want to read that. He doesn't put it actually on the page, but he puts things in it that imply certain things, so you're able to go there, but not like go there and smash your face in the moment and just be there, you know? Like, it made, I don't want to say palatable because abuse is never palatable, but you were able to be there for the character and be there in the moment with the characters, but not fully in the moment. I hope I'm explaining it right. I respect when authors are able to do that and they don't have to do the like gratuitousness of rape and everything, you know, where people just go out there for shock value and stuff like that. Like Ross does it tastefully. I don't know. Also, Ross is such an amazing writer. I know, get the brown stuff off my nose, I'm aware, but I was so blown away at his writing style, and the whole time I was reading it, I was highlighting a lot because there were so many lines where I was like, damn, that was a good line, or damn, like that stood out, or it hit a spot for me, and I was just, dang. Yeah, and it's a revenge story, so I'm all about it. But I love, I don't want to give anything away, but there's a lot of just moments where you're like, yeah, good for him, you know. But yes, 5 stars, highly recommend if you can handle that subject matter. But I like stories where you're just rooting for the character in the end, like through the whole story. And then moments of doubt, you're just going through the emotions with the characters, and that, perfect for me. Okay, so those were all the books that I completed in the last 2 weeks. So let's start from the beginning real quick. So the first book, or first story that I finished, short story, is Non-Practicing Cultists by Scott J. Moses. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty good. It's just about a cult. If you want any more details about all these books, go to my weekly wrap-ups because I go in more detail about them. But yes, 4 stars. The next book I finished was Sabbath of the Fox Devils by Sam Richard. I gave it 4 stars. It's about a kid in the 80s during the satanic panic and cultish stuff again. Pretty good. The next one I finished is Elegy for the Undead by Matthew Vesley. I gave it 4 stars. It's a zombie story, but also end of times love story. It was more of a love story than I was expecting, and I liked it. The next thing I finished was a manga, and it's Blue Flag, Volume 1. I gave it 3.5, 4 stars. I liked how it ended. That's what gave it the extra star for me, but I could not stand the characters being so mean to the one young girl in the book, and it drove me nuts. The next story I finished is a novelette, and it's called Filthy Secrets by Jonathan Butcher. I didn't rate it because if you want to watch my whole tangent about it, go to the weekly wrap-up. But it wasn't bad, but it's not something I wouldn't recommend because it's to gross you out type of story and to be weird, and it achieves all of that. And the next book I finished was Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It's a very sexy book with a lot of sexy moments. The next book I finished is Songbirds and Stray Dogs by Megan Lucas. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. I still think about this book because the story was just so profound to me, and I just love the characters so freaking much in it. The next book I finished was The First Evil by R.L. Stine. Throwback. I gave it 4.5, 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Like in the beginning, I was kind of having an issue with it, but for being a kid's book, I enjoyed it a lot. A lot more than I was expecting. So then the next book I finished is Transmuted by Eve Harms, and this was a shorter. I think this was like a novella, or I don't know what it's considered. 71 pages, but give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. It's pretty good. It has some interesting, sexy moments in it also. So if you like the mutant sex stuff, check it out. And it's also good about identity and gender identity and how you feel, like that type of stuff. Really good. So the next book I finished was an audiobook actually, and it's People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and I gave it, I think, 4.5, 5 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. I like the 2 characters. I like the whole friends to lovers thing. I'm usually not the biggest fan of friends to lovers too much, but I really enjoyed these 2 characters, and well, I wish I was friends with them the whole time I was listening to it. And then the last 3 books that I've already talked about. So that is my July wrap up. I read more, even though a lot of them were shorter books. I did better than I was expecting, especially the second half of the month. I just felt very burnt out and was over it. I'm excited for this month. I have big things coming up this month and next month that I am so excited to share with you guys, but I have to wait, and I just can't wait to share. I still need to get my new stickers up on my Etsy. I'm terrible about it, and I have some commission works I just got to finish. Some of my commission work has been, people have been releasing what they want to do with my work for them, so that's been exciting and fun to see on social media. And I'm thinking about doing a giveaway here pretty soon, because moving a bookshelf, you gotta take all the books off, which was not fun. And while going through it, I saw there was a lot of books I just don't want. I'm not gonna reread them. I enjoyed the books, but I'm not gonna reread them. There's no way. So I think I'm gonna do a giveaway at some point pretty soon. I think that's it. And I still have like 2 videos I need to edit and put together from like last month. So I just love that for me. Anyways, I hope you all are doing well. Hopefully summer flies by a little bit faster and we can get into autumn, which is my thriving time. I cannot wait for like September. Oh, and in September I'm going on a girls trip. It's gonna be the longest I'll be away from my son, so that's gonna be fun. I'm kind of nervous. But it'll be okay. How was your reading month? Hopefully it was amazing. Okay, that is all. Thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate you and everything you do. And yeah, I will talk to you later. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.